Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek News. I'm here with Uli Blenneman from Spielwarenmesse, looking at a in-development copy of La Granja by Michael Keller, and it was Andreas
Odendahl.
And I guess ideally you hope to bring this out in time for Spiel.
Even earlier. So we hope that this game is out in May already. So you see, although this is a prototype art, especially the cards, it's purely prototype, but this is pretty much advanced. You can see from the print it's still not finished, but you get an idea. So we actually hope that this game is out for May.
And you mentioned this is not the complete game, but it's enough to give a demonstration, or at least give some idea of what's going on in the game.
Yes. Well, what you see here, this is a game board. It will have that size, so it's a pretty small board. But each player has one of these tableaus here. So it's a 2 to 4 player game, and each player will have one of these in front of him. And this is also the full complement of cards. The game has 66 cards, and I get to this a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see only a part. The game, the topic is La Granja is at Mallorca in Spain, and it's a country estate. We try to develop our own small country, what's the term for it? Bauernhof farm, our small farm into the big and impressive one. And we also hope to deliver goods to the city. So this is a marketplace of the Mallorquinian city, which you see here in the middle. But each player has one of these boards. Okay. In my opinion, what I like most about the game is that although it's a gamer's game, so it's not a family type game, that it has two important random factors. It has the cards, as I mentioned earlier, and it also has dice. There are 2 dice per player in the game plus 1. So with 4 players we would use all 9 dice. And of course this is randomized. This randomizes, but it also means, like in real life, that you cannot plan in advance too much, or there will be bad weather. Stuff will happening, and you have to cope with it. This is, in my opinion, what really makes the game very interesting, and there are not too many games, at least in my opinion, on the market which have 2 big random factors, cards and dice, and this makes the game pretty unique in my opinion, but it also gives a unique playing experience. At least that's what I hope. And
so what are we doing? How do we develop over the course of the game?
So the cards, this is not a card game, but the cards are very important. Each player has a certain amount at the start, and the cards can be added to your farm in 4 different ways. With a prototype, it's not that easy to show, but I get it. Put this here. If you put it on this side, you can put all cards on 4 different sides, but only with one capability. Here, it's an additional field, and there are fields for 3 different resources. So this would be just for corn. And these markers here, they are used in the game for several different things. Here it's a corn. At a different spot it would be a pig. So this can be used in different ways. So this is one thing, and of course you can add later in the game more and more cards, which you then stack, and you see what addition you have.
Okay.
The top has just 3 slots, and these are basically tasks that you have to do, and you bring goods to the city. And you just have 3 slots, but as soon as you complete this, it's out, and you can add a new one here.
Which you are setting up your own demand for what you're going to be bringing.
Now, you see what you have in your warehouse, then you can put it here and deliver it to the city later. But also the cards, there are also 3 slots at the bottom. Oops, excuse me. And here, this is German text, of course. It gives you, all of this gives you advantages. You can develop faster, you get some bonuses. And here, you can extend your farm. Here's a new field for a pig, or here your income is increased. There are always 3 different spots, but only 2 are filled. So next one could be here. Also a pig, but no additional income, but you can have 1 more transport. This is also very important in the game. There is a special phase where each player selects 1 of 4 of these markers, donkey markers, and this is done simultaneously, and the players flip them over. It can be up to 4 deliveries. So going back to this example, it would be 2 deliveries here, but I have 4, I can do 2 additional ones. But you see, the ones where you may only deliver less, they allow you to advance at the siesta track here, which gives you also some advantages, and the siesta track also determines who is starting player in the next turn, which may be of some influence, but you deliver less, which is not that good. But once used, it's out. The game is 6 game turns. After you've used 3, you get all back. So you have some selection, but you cannot always use the 4 or the 1.
And you have a lot of selection as well, I guess, if you've got 4 ways to use them, so you build a path.
Yeah, so this makes the game, in my opinion, as I said earlier, very interesting. But it's not a card game. You normally have only 4 cards at your starting hand, and then 3 to 5 cards normally during a game. And in a standard turn, you only play 1 card. And now I think this is a good moment to go to the dice. 1 player rolls them all, and then you distribute them according to the numbers. And each player may select 2 of these. So we do not have a 1 here. This is in our starting player begins, of course, picking 1. And let's say I pick the 2. I put it on. No, where is it here? I think it's now not on the board. No, it's here, I think.
And that's always the development.
Yes, yes, well. And now I can do one of these things. Here it is. Let's go through them very quickly. With the 1, I may take a pick and put it on my farm if there is space for it. Here I can either play a card. So normally, as I said, only 1 card per turn. This would be, or I get 1 of these 3 resources and can put them into my warehouse. Here it's 2 different resources, so I cannot pick 2 corn or 2 olives. Here it's simply 4 money, because a lot of the things cost money in the game. Here it is either, this is the simplest one, it's in relation to the siesta track. Here you advance 2 steps. Here it's 1 step and 1 improvement. Here 2 improvements. Improvement is not the correct term, but I do not know the correct English one, unfortunately, right now, because what you see here, you have resources, but sometimes you have to, it's not improvement, it's more that I finish it. So, for example, I have this resource and I make wine out of it. So there's also wine, and I need to do this. I need these because they let me do this for free. I can always bottle my wine, but it costs me lots of money. That's why. But here I have a selection, and here's another selection: either 2 money, so not 4, or I can, out of order, do a single delivery, which can be important. I haven't mentioned the 6 houses at the city yet, and in order to have more influence here, I have to fulfill certain things here. So here, for example, I have to bring 3 pigs to the market, and then they are removed, and I have some improvements there. And who is doing this first? He's putting in here, gets additional victory points. So out of turn delivery here can be a big boost if something is really if it's close in there. And also, if you are here, you occupy one of these market booths, market stands. And you see, this is probably a little bit tough right now to see that they have different numbers from 1 to 5. Highest is best. Let's say it would be like this. And I have deliver something to the city. I get victory points, but I can also enter one of my pieces at the number shown here. Of course, in the full version, it's better to see. Here it would be just a 1, but let's say I have a 5. I can, on one empty 5 hexagon, I can add one of these. And let's say this is a different color, so a different player. I eliminate, but they are, at least they are withdrawn. All the ones that have a lower value. So, and it could be even more than one. Let's say these are 2 blues, 5, they are both returned. The longer you are here, you are getting victory points for these occupations here on the city market per turn. So the more you have, the better. The city buildings will help you here, and they give you some markers, which also help you. So this is a game that has a lot of different things going on. There's also some additional markers which I haven't mentioned at that time, but mechanically...
And on player count.
Yes, but mechanically this game is surprisingly simple, and it has hardly any downtime, because when it's my turn, pick a die, immediately do it, it's the next player. And most of these actions are really very quickly. By the way, which I did not say earlier, I said 2 dice per player plus a 9th die. Let's say this is the last one remaining, then in turn order everybody does this die. But still you could select either this or that. So in a turn you have just 3 actions, and there are 6 turns per game. So there is not that much going on in times of downtime. But the cards will have some additional combinations here in the text. So let's say there is a card. Each time you have a pick, you get some money because you deliver it immediately. So this is some of the variety that is introduced there.
And this is the same Michael Keller who did City Hall and Captains of Industry?
No, I don't think so. I don't actually. I don't. Probably, maybe I'm. You know more than I. So, is he from Switzerland? No. So no.
Lots of Michael Kellers around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did. He's designed a couple of very complex, sort of interactive, economic style games.
So hopefully, I'm not saying something which is completely wrong, but I don't think that he did. He did it. Yeah. Well.
Well, thanks very much for the overview.
No, thank you.
And it looks very good.
Thanks
Good luck.
a lot.